Hey guys, I'm Ashley with Ashley's Reads on Twitter or of Fiction and Fantasy on Instagram, and today I am here to tell you, halfway through April, what I'll be reading in April for Mythothon and Dewey's Readathon. I will be doing 2 readathons this month, although one is a lot more casual in the way that I am personally playing, and the other has so many prompts. So I'm just forewarning this with I usually read 5 books a month, so take from this TBR what you will. I am attempting to film in front of my bookshelf again instead of just on my couch, and I also got a chair that isn't squeaky. It's just a bar stool from the counter and it swivels, so that's nice. I can be like, hey, look at my bookshelf and just grab them very easily. I'm very excited. I've had a lot of caffeine right before this video, so please excuse that, but this is kind of my energy level in most of my videos. So let's get into it. I also silenced my phone and my Discord on Do Not Disturb. And Michael shouldn't be home for at least half an hour. So we're doing quite well today. I have a lot of catching up to do. I'm hoping to combine my February and March wrap-up videos because I finally finished my February books. And for March books, I only have this one left of books that I started. So I may just exclude this one or put it into the April wrap-up and then work on the others, but we'll see. So the 2 readathons that I am taking part in, which you can find the links and the hosts and everything like that down below. Mythothon is, I'm going to say this wrong, it's like an Arthurian era / legends themed readathon. So you pick a team. I think that the teams were Merlin, Morgan Le Fay, and Nimue, Lady of the Lake. And then you have to collect all of the knights, you collect King Arthur, and when you have all of them, you go and save Camelot, which is the final prompt. So that is 14 books, and I have chosen to be on Team Morgana because I loved Kitty McGrath and Merlin. That's really like most of what I know. So I don't actually own any Merlin merch, so I tried to make my bookshelf medieval themed, just like merch that I have that isn't modern. So we have like Daenerys from Game of Thrones. I got Miss Fortune from League of Legends because I love playing Morgana from League of Legends, but I don't have her pop yet. Some of my little D&D figurines from like the one summer that I tried playing D&D and was a half elf. And my dad made me this octopus, and I figured it could be a monster to like. And that's pretty much it. Besides, I have this necklace that is a Christmas present from my brother that I really liked because it reminded me both of House Targaryen and House Tyrell. So yeah, that's what I have going. The other readathon is Dewey's Readathon, and that is like a board game. It is the final weekend or the second to last weekend of April. It is It's a 24 or 48 hour readathon, but they did give everyone permission who are slower readers to go ahead and play it all month. I am already doing that for the month of April, and I will go over those really fast because I'm only on roll 2, I think. The first one was to read for an hour, and so I did, working on a book from March, and then the next one is to read a book in 3rd person. So for that one, I will be reading The Duke Who Didn't by Courtney Milan. I am 20% of the way through that one. That's it for Dewey's Readathon, which I'm taking part in with my brother Noah, and he is on roll 1 because he restarted. He didn't want to read a contemporary. Anyways, let's get into the prompts for the Mythothon, which is the main reason that we are here today because there's 14 prompts. So because I chose to be on Team Morgan Le Fay, the team book prompt is to read a book that features a character that is either villainous, misunderstood, or morally gray. And for this one, I chose An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I read that everyone in this book is morally gray, and I'm only 10% in, but each character really seems to have to decide like what is good or evil, or like what decisions they make will be the best, even if it's not a good decision. Like none of the decisions are good. So that's definitely interesting, but I'm also only 10% of the way in. So I can't speak for if the characters really are morally gray or not. But the male character definitely seems morally gray, I think. And because he's like a mask in training, and the masks are, I think, supposed to be like the evil antagonist. I'm really confused, but loving it. I am reading this book because it is my friend Nessa's one of her favorite books that I picked to read for this year in January. Here we are. I'm finally opening it, so that's progress. But yeah, I'm really excited to continue this. The second prompt is King Arthur. And for that, it is to read a book featuring royalty. I will be reading The Duke Who Didn't by Courtney Milan. And that one is my friend Bailey's pick as one of her favorite books. So I'm very excited that I'm finally reading that one as well. I think those are the last two. Because Martine had Anne of Green Gables, Nicoletta had the library book, Stasia had Caraval, which I read last month. It'll be in the next wrap-up. Melody had Illuminae, and I read Gemina. So I think, unless I'm forgetting someone, in which case I feel terrible, I think these are my last two. The first knight that we will collect is Sir Lancelot, and it is to read a book by a favorite author. I don't have specifically a favorite author. I have like a top 7, but on my TBR, I do really need to read A Court of Frost and Starlight. So for this one, by Sarah J. Maas, and we will be reading this one. It is a short novella. I think multiple of my friends have just read it and given it only 2 or 3 stars, and I've heard that people either love it or hate it. There's not really like a middle ground, so I don't know what I will think personally. I've heard that it's a lot of smut or a lot just about Feyre, and I'm not really super into either one of those things, so I'm thinking it'll be a 3-star read for me. But it does feature royalty because if it's about Feyre, she's a high lady of the Night Court. Yeah, and I really need to get to this so that I can move on and read A Court of Silver Flames. But this is my first one in the series that is not a reread because I've never read it. So that's exciting. Prompt 4 is Sir Gawain. I did not look up how to pronounce any of these knights' names, so they're probably wrong. But Gawain is a green cover. And for this one, I will be reading Wild Women and the Blues by Denny S. Bryce. This is an arc from Bookish First, so thank you very much to Bookish First and Kensington Books for sending this to me, and I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to get to this. This one, I don't know anything about really. I believe there's 2 timelines in this book. I believe it's in the present, like modern day, contemporary era, where a college student is interviewing someone from like a retirement home or a hospital or hospice, something like that. And then it's also the elderly woman's life in the 1920s. I don't know. I can't remember, but the cover is stunning, so I'm excited. For prompt 5, it is to read a book with a shiny cover. For this one, on my ebook, I will be reading Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, which I think is also a historical fiction, and I know still nothing about it, but it's a sort of buddy read that I am doing with my friend Natasha, and I have been trying to work on that for a couple of months. I don't have a physical copy, but it does have an edition that is called, I think, the Shiny Edition, and so I feel like that should count. I had to fit it onto the list somewhere. Prompt 6 is Sir Bors, which is to read a sequel. For this one, I was supposed to read Noragami Volume 2 by Adachitoka as a buddy read with Noah, but I think I've lost access to that this month because the website that he linked me to is down for maintenance all month. I will instead be reading Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise Part 2 by, I think it's Jean Luen Yang, but I didn't write it down. But I'm reading that as a buddy read with Amber. She already finished it, and I can't remember how many stars she gave it, so I'll include that in the wrap-up. For prompt 7, Sir Lamorak, I will be reading an underhyped book, which for me is Cast in Firelight by Dana Swift. This is one of the most stunning covers that I have seen for books in the past year, and I know that it involves arranged marriages and that it is a fantasy novel. I think that they both have magical powers, which checks out judging by the elements there. I got this as a pre-order campaign, so you'll notice like in any of my reading vlogs or anything like that, I have 2 bookmarks that match this book, and they're in most of my books always because I love them so much. And I got that just for getting this library book, which was incredibly nice of Dana, so thank you so much. And I am so excited to read this book. I'm thinking it'll be a 5-star read, and it's stunning, and I hope to buy it after I read it because I would love to have this book on my bookshelf permanently, and everyone should go check it out. I haven't even read it yet, but I love Dana. Like, on her Twitter and her Instagram, she is a gem, and I have a feeling this is going to be an amazing read. So, next up, we have Sir Kay, which is a sibling relationship. I will be reading The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He, and that is it's an arc from NetGalley, so thank you both to NetGalley and to Roaring Brook for a copy of that. I don't really know anything because I've only read the first chapter, but it's really giving me vibes from like the TV show Lost, or like what I remember from being a child when my bio parents watched the TV show Lost with Wally. That's the vibes that I'm getting, and I'm very confused. It seems to be it seems to be future era, I think. That's all that I know. There's 2 sisters. I'm not sure they're both alive. After that, I have a recent addition to your TBR, and I'm just pulling up the publisher to thank. This one is Never Put a Cactus in the Bathroom, a room-by-room guide to styling and caring for your houseplants by Emily L. Hay Hinsdale and illustrated by Lonnie Harris. And that is a NetGalley arc, so thank you to NetGalley and to Tiller Press. Yes, that was a mouthful. It's essentially exactly what it says. It's a guide to raising houseplants for beginners, and I have like 10 houseplants and I struggle to keep them alive without Michael being around, so I was in desperate need of this book, and I'm very grateful that they felt like giving it to me. The next one is Sir Bedivere, and that is to read Something Pointy on the Cover. For this one, I will be reading an ebook of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I am reading this because it is the prequel to Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom series, which I adored and gave 5 stars to. And also, everyone is reading it because the series based on Shadow and Bone comes out at the end of this month. So I do really want to get to this, and I do also want to go get a copy from the library because I would just rather have it in person, but we'll see. The next prompt is Sir Galahad, read a book with a G title. And for this one, I'm hoping to read Good Girl Go Bad. No. Good Girl. I'm hoping to read Good Girl Bad Blood, which is by Holly Jackson. And this is the sequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I loved, and I think I also gave 5 stars. I don't foresee myself actually getting to this book this month, but it is, oh, dropped my phone. But it is stunning, and I know nothing about the sequel. I know that the 3rd book, I think, is already out in the UK, or is almost out. So I'm definitely behind, but I have like 30 currently reading series, so that's not a surprise if you've been here before. Whew. Sir Tristan is a romance that should be legendary. So for this one, oh my goodness, I picked A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I'm really hoping to get to this one this month, but I don't know if I'll want to break after I read ACOFAS. So this one is a buddy read with my best friend Jamie, and she has already read it, and I think she gave it 5 stars, and now she's already going to reread it with me when I finally get to it. It's also a buddy read with my friend slash hairstylist Lee, and she already read it and I think she loved it. And she keeps bugging me to read this, which is valid, very valid. And it's also a book club pick with my book club, with my friend Donna's book club, Moods and Pages. So in other words, everyone is reading this book except for me, and I even pre-ordered it. It's not like I was waiting on it. It took me ages to read Aquar again. So hope to get to it. I've heard that there's a lot of romance scenes in this book, and that it's more, I don't know that the quality of the romance is better, but that it's definitely steamier. So I guess you could say that's legendary if that's what you're into. I think that it has potential because I did like Cassian and Nesta in Wings and Ruin, which I didn't remember at all, but I did like them in the reread. So I hope it's legendary because it's a thick book. Like, can you imagine not like getting all the way through this and then not even caring about the romance? That would be really rough. So I really hope that doesn't happen, but we'll see. And the second to last prompt is Sir Gaheris. That is to listen to an audiobook. So for this one, I have a lot of books that I have meant to read in past readathons, and I have written them all down on a list to keep as like a short list that I need to put into another readathon in the future. But I have a lot of them that I had requested as audiobooks as like a last minute Hail Mary, like there's a week left, if the library gives it to me, I'll listen to it while I do the dishes or something like that. And then I ended up not reading it, listening to it, or it didn't get there in time. So I have like 5 or 6 different books on Libby that I've requested as audiobooks, and then I just, when they finally get here, I postpone them. So whichever one comes in next, Libby will decide my prompt. If Libby has not given me one of those books by the time I miraculously get to the 13th prompt, then I will find Legendborn by, I don't know who Legendborn is by because I didn't write it down, but that is the readathon book pick. So I would try and read that one, which I don't think is on hold, but I can't remember. Final prompt. This was so long and I'm so hungry. The final prompt is Camelot, and this one is to read a book where you have never visited the setting. I thought this was a fantasy universe, and I think it is a fantasy book, but it may be set in Ireland. I will get back to you. I am reading Fern and Flame by Brittany and Georgia Dixon. This is a beta read that I am reading with my best friend Amber, and we really went into this not knowing pretty much anything. It reminded us a lot of some characters that we had in a writing group, like based on the aesthetic, and the description in the post was ambitious girls, cozy boy, no, not cozy boys, ambitious girls, soft boys, and cozy friendships, and something about woodlands. I really don't know anything else. I am like 4% of the way in, and I am incredibly confused, but in a good way. Like I'm very excited to know more and to keep getting to the next page. And I love the writing style, and Brittany is a total sweetheart. So I definitely cannot wait to read more. And yeah, that's pretty much all of the books. If I managed to read all 14, it would be a miracle, but it's kind of one of those miracles that's so far out there that I'm not even like, I'm not planning on reading all 14. It's already the 12th. So, and I've started 4 of them, 5 of them today. And if those are all that I managed to read, then so be it, because I will have gotten all of the arcs out of the way. No, I have to start this one. That's like the only other one that is non-negotiable because it's an arc. But other than that, I'm doing quite well, very surprisingly well this month, and I'd really like to keep it up with that. I definitely have to catch up on videos. My YouTube has been slacking, but that's okay. I got to do my first book tour stop ever. I have been getting a couple things of bookish mail, but otherwise I've been doing pretty chill. I actually unhauled a few books. I'm hoping to do a giveaway with some arcs that I would like other people to get to experience if they don't have a copy of the published book already, because I think they're old arcs now. Yeah, and things are going well at the household. I've kept the dogs alive and I have kept the plants alive, and it's been a really good April. We've been getting a lot of stuff done. I'm really excited for this month. I am so excited that it's finally spring, even if Kansas thinks that means 30 degrees to 80 degrees in the same day throughout the entire week, and that's okay because I love wearing cozy sweaters in the morning and like basically a swimsuit in the afternoon and then back to cozy pajamas. It's definitely a vibe. I hope that you guys are also having a great month. I know that everyone has been really busy lately because I don't know, just life getting caught up. So I would love to hear how you're doing in the comments, if you are taking part in any readathons, if you have any TBRs that you are super excited to read this month. Just check in below and let me know how y'all are doing, and I hope that you have a lovely rest of April. Bye guys.